Okay, welcome to topic 2 and Happy New Year. That's happening this week. I hope you had a great holiday last week, a great Christmas. I hope you did not catch the Christmas cold. I did, but we are going forward. So this week we're looking at the American Revolution and the founding era. Something so interesting. Thomas Jefferson is the main author of the Declaration of Independence, obviously a brilliant intellectual. In September of 1785, so we're at that point in time, they're operating under the Articles of Confederation. They don't get together until almost 2 years later in 1787, May of 1787, to write the Constitution. So we've declared our independence. We're operating under the Articles of Confederation. It's a disaster. So Jefferson is in Europe at the time, and he sends 2 trunkloads of books to James Madison. And the list, you can go onto the National Archives and find the list. The list is just huge. These are the lists of books that he sends to James Madison. He cataloged them. And so who's James Madison? And Jefferson indicates in this letter that this is just the first load. See, we're still going, more lists. So who is James Madison? James Madison is credited with being largely the father of the Constitution. He studied. He did not just say, this is not working. That's a lot of times what we see today, right? A lot of complaining, no real solution. When James Madison showed up at the Constitutional Convention in May of 1787, he had an idea of what would work for the country. And he had obtained that idea through studying republics from all over the world, not just Rome, and finding out what worked, what didn't work, what needed to change, what would be better. He studied the great thinkers from all over the world, all over the time periods. And so then they get together, the greatest minds in our country gets together, and they write the first draft of the Constitution. They start in May of 1787. They finish it up in September of 1787. It's then ratified by the 9th state necessary. New Hampshire, I think, was the last one in 1788. But I encourage you. I spent yesterday reading this book because my Christmas cold, there was no church. So I read this book. I love John Grisham. When I want to just escape reality for a minute, he's where I go. Sometimes Louis L'Amour, but they're my 2 favorite authors. So I read this whole book yesterday. It's and it's a little over 400 pages, and it's not even his best work. John Grisham's best book is The Testament. That's his best work ever. But even though it's not his best work, I read the whole book yesterday. I didn't look at my phone, and it was as though my brain just sort of took a deep breath, which I desperately needed because I tend to have way too much going on all of the time. And then I'm just in this hyper state of chaos. So I encourage you, as you're thinking about your goals for the new year, to maybe set a reading goal for each day. Some of the most successful people I know read 10 pages a day, non-negotiable. They read 10 pages a day. And so that might be something you want to consider, something I'm going to do. And I encourage you to set a reading goal of books, eyes on a page, not on a device. It does something different for your brain. And some of the greatest thinkers, which you're going to be looking at for discussion question 1 this week, an American Enlightenment thinker. A lot of people pick Benjamin Franklin, and he was definitely brilliant. He, I think, was the oldest of the founders, so he had all that lifetime of wisdom. We learn as we age, hopefully. So, discussion question 1. Name an American Enlightenment thinker and describe their contributions. Discussion question 2. Why did Great Britain lose? I looked it up, and it's estimated that travel from Great Britain to the American colonies at the time took 6 to 12 weeks. So imagine, if you need orders from headquarters, you have to wait 6 to 12 weeks. The war has changed completely by the time you get your news. So I think logistics alone had a lot to do with it, because definitely Britain had the superior army. But why did Great Britain lose the Revolutionary War? And then you have the American Revolution and the founding era timeline for your assignment this week. 12 events. So 3 are political, so that can be the Declaration of Independence, the First Continental Congress, the Constitution, and then 3 are economic, so things like the Stamp Act, we had to borrow money from other countries, things like that. 3 that are cultural, and then 3 of your own choosing. You're starting in 1754, the beginning of the French and Indian War, and you're ending up in 1788, the ratification of the Constitution. So that's this week. Remember, participation all week long. If you're missing an assignment from week 1, let me know. I'll reassign it to you. Happy New Year.